Well, this sure doesn't look like 700 pound cotton, but unfortunately it is. Finally got everything serviced this morning. Got a nice breeze drying the dew off. Got multiple storm systems on the way for the next few days. Let's see how much this cotton we can get out today. Hopefully we'll make a little bit better progress today than we have the last couple of days of picking.
All right, today I'm out here on the module builder. My tractor didn't want to start this morning, as usual. I don't know what's going on. We have to bring it back into the shop today, but I got one built. We're on the second one. Not yielding great at all. It's taking a very long time for Matt to get a basket. I'm about to tag this and catch my breath because this is a physical job, but sitting on that tractor yesterday didn't do me any good. Roy's out here too, getting stalks cut. So it's a beautiful day. It's supposed to be really windy and about 70 degrees or so. So maybe I'll get a slight tan, but yeah, it's windy. Doesn't help with tarps, that's for sure. And this is weird, it's an east wind. That usually doesn't happen here, so. But
we have swapped up roles just a little bit. It really does wear you down riding around in this tractor, running back and forth in the bowl buggy over several days. So I ran the bowl buggy first couple days. Kelly wanted to tag out and get her some builder time, let her get to moving around a little bit more. So I was happy to swap out because in a few days I'm going to want to swap out again too. We got everything serviced and running by like 9:45. Wasn't hardly any dew out this morning, so we were able to fire up right at 10 o'clock. Already got one module done, working on a second, and I'm going to play Chase the Rabbit today, making sure Matt doesn't have to stop any longer than he has to.
Definitely a sad cotton harvest. We got our second module builder out here, but we have picked 70 acres so far, and we have not dumped one basket in it yet because we haven't needed to. That one builder has been able to keep up with me very easily. In fact, Zach and Kelly are usually sitting around twiddling their thumbs waiting on me to fill a basket up. But anyway, I wanted to take a few minutes here and speak to our new viewers. You know, we've picked up a lot of viewers and subscribers since last fall's cotton harvest, and you know, I kind of take it for granted that everybody knows about cotton, but in reality cotton is not grown in very much of the U.S. just because of the climate. So you know, this might be a lot of people's first time ever seeing cotton, the cotton harvesting process and whatnot, and you know, it's quite a bit different than what the grain harvest is. So I kind of want to tell you a little bit about the process. So if you're a new viewer, if you're an old viewer and you're familiar with this, just feel free to skip forward a couple minutes in this video. Anyway, you know, with grain harvest, you got the combine, you usually got a grain cart, and then you usually got a semi truck to harvest the grain and get all the grain hauled away. Cotton is similar in some regards. You know, we got the cotton picker here, which goes through harvests the cotton, and then to speed up efficiency, we've got what we call a bowl buggy, which is essentially the same thing as a grain cart, except that it holds and unloads cotton. And then the bowl buggy takes the cotton from the cotton picker over to the module builder, and you would consider the module builder to be similar to a semi-truck. But what the module builder does is it takes that cotton that the bowl buggy dumps into it, and it compresses it into a freestanding brick of cotton. Each module holds, you know, usually an average of around 15 bales of cotton. And then once that module is complete, Zach will pull the module builder off of the module, and then you'll have a freestanding brick of cotton there. And it gets tarped to protect it from the weather. And then after that, the gin will come by with their module trucks, and they will load the modules up and then carry it to the cotton gin. So essentially, once we pull off of a module of cotton with our module builder, our job in the cotton harvesting process is complete. It's all up to the gin, the warehouses, and the merchants at that point to handle our cotton. And then you know, after the gin picks up the modules, the trucks will carry the cotton to the cotton gin, and there it will sit on the gin lot until it is run through the cotton gin and processed. And the ginning process essentially separates the fiber from the seed and the trash, and it will compress the cotton lint into what we call bales of cotton. And a bale of cotton is 480 pounds of lint, and it's compressed into a block. I can't remember the exact dimensions of the block, but it's very, very tightly compressed to save on storage space and make it easier to transport. And then after the bale of cotton is formed, it will be stored in a warehouse until a buyer comes along and actually purchases that cotton and either sends it to a mill domestically or exports it overseas. The vast majority of our cotton, I think about 85% of our cotton, is actually exported overseas because that's where all the textile mills are now because of a lot cheaper labor. So it's kind of a similar process to grain, with a big difference that we're not responsible for actually getting the cotton to the market. You know, once we are done harvesting it, we don't have to touch the cotton anymore, which, you know, is a big benefit over grain, because, you know, with grain we have to have storage facilities. You know, we're responsible for all of the trucking costs in order to get the grain to the elevator. You know, whereas with cotton, you know, we don't have to have any storage. We don't have to transport the cotton to market or anything like that. And plus, you know, when you consider the module builder and the ability of cotton to just stand on its own out in the field, as long as it's properly tarped, you know, there's never a shortage of space to store it. Whereas with grain, you either have to transport it directly to the elevator, which they only have a limited number of space. You have to transport it to your own grain facility, which only has a limited number of space. Or the other option is that you could put it into grain bags, which are only used one time, and a bag, you know, costs quite a bit of money, and it can only hold so much. So with cotton, you know, there's essentially an infinite amount of storage space to store the cotton until it's ready to be processed. So anyway, for those of y'all that are new to cotton, I hope that clears up the whole harvesting process just a little bit anyway.
These tags are how the GIN identifies what module goes to what farm number and who. So that's how we get paid. They gotta have the tags on them. We keep the first slip, and then usually I tuck them in, especially when it's about to rain. We'll write the number down on the bottom here, and then on both sides of the module. And we also put our logo on it so people know who it belongs to in case the tag gets lost. If the tag gets lost, then the GIN is able to call us and say, hey, we're missing this tag number. What farm number is it to? And then we get, that's how we can get paid. Yeah. Oh, no sleep till Brooklyn. I'm just kidding. That's what's going on today. So running, so I got 1, 2, 3 tarps over here, and then I'm pretty sure I got 4 in the back of the GMC. But if not, I'll end up going back to the house really quick. We're just around the corner from the house, and I think there's like 10 or 12 in the blue truck, I think. Yeah, so I didn't grab a lot. We didn't think we'd be doing a lot, so worst comes to worst, I can just run back and go get it.
That's about 2:30, and this is only, I think, the 6th time I've dumped today so far. I mean, a little over a module and a half we've picked in like 5 hours. We're just getting some absolutely terrible production today. This right here, where I'm at right now, is the first remotely decent cotton I've picked all day. You can see just how bad skippy it is right here. And the biggest problem trying to harvest skippy cotton, I mean, not only is it hard to tell where the row is because you don't have just, I mean, a straight line of the base of the stalks to follow. You know, the cotton does its best to compensate for low stand by, you know, putting on bigger branches and more branches to try and fill in the gaps. Well, once those branches get several bowls on them, they get big and heavy, they fall over, or they can kind of drag the plant down. And, you know, those branches are laying there on the ground, so I'm trying my best to scrape them up off the ground. Some places I'm having to go real slow just to make sure I stay on the road and scrape them up off the ground like I'm having to do right here. And it's just making for some really slow production, not covering many acres per hour. Actually, picking this way, the picker's not doing as good a job because the stalks, the wind kind of blew the stalks that way, so they're kind of facing that way. And when the limbs are kind of pointing that way, the stalk lifters just don't want to do a good job of picking them up. And it's causing us to leave some cotton behind. And the problem is the bowls it's leaving behind are the bigger bowls closest to the ground. Those are your money bowls, which is leading to yield going down that much farther. Now coming back this direction, the picker does a lot better job because stalk lifters will get up under those limbs and pick them up and guide them into the picker, and it's not leaving those lower bowls behind. But you know, in order for me to deadhead back and forth and only pick from one direction, not only would it slow down productivity drastically, the fuel it would cost to do so, you know, that extra cotton that I would pick would probably not even cover the increased fuel cost as high as fuel is right now. So we're just kind of in a catch-22 situation this year with cotton. There, you know, just like with planting, there is no really right decision. There's bad and then there's worse. So they go in this direction, those stalk lifters are doing a lot better job of guiding the limbs and the plants into the head because they can get up under the limbs. Whereas coming the other direction, they kind of glide over some of them. I mean, I could run my head slower trying to get a few more of those limbs in, but the problem is all that residue from the cotton, all those leaves and stuff that just got shed are lying there loose, and the heads would grab all that stuff and start pushing all those leaves and stuff up in a pile, making a mess that way too. So we're doing the best we can, but ultimately the cotton's not yielding good to begin with, and then on top of that, we're leaving some of it behind too, which kind of just compounds a bad situation. But in more positive news today, my back's not hurting quite as bad. Maybe it's kind of become conditioned to picking cotton now. I don't know. Maybe I was just out of cotton picking shape. And it took me a couple days to get my body back accustomed to it. Well, at least I know somebody out here is having fun. That's Roy Campbell, one of my landlords, owns quite a bit of ground that I farm, and he's a retired cattle farmer, and nothing he likes more than coming out getting on that old John Deere 4440 and bush hogging some cotton stalks for me. He's, I think, 78 years old, but you wouldn't guess it by looking at him and watching him. He's still going strong.
So we're on our third module, and now the module trucks have shown up, as Matt called him. So he's gonna try and show y'all how he's gonna pick this up. I got the automatic running. Matt's on the good part of the farm, so having to catch up. The module truck raises it and then backs up using a camera. Giant panty picker upper. Can see the tracks turning, and then it scoops it right up. And there's a camera on the back of that truck that lets them see what they're doing. It's pretty neat. And then as they get closer, they have to speed up because it gets really, really heavy. Bye-bye, my darlings. Going to the gin. This guy is a professional. That's awesome. So in 1:30, it's all picked up and gone. And they take it to the gin, and hopefully in a week we'll know how many pounds are on there and how many bales.
Right, this right here is the worst cotton I'm going to show you all year long. I can guarantee that. There's literally just not hardly anything out here. In fact, I can't even, the plants are so scattered, I'm having a hard time even staying where the row is supposed to be. Although I knew about this for a long time, that this was by far going to be my worst field. All that green you see out there, that is actually volunteer clover from my cover crop this past spring that is sprouted. It's pretty bad when you got a better stand of a volunteer crop that you terminated than you do of the cash crop that you planted. It just so happened when I was scouting my fields trying to determine whether to replant or not, I did not come over to this corner of the farm. If I had seen this, I'm pretty sure this would have made up my mind about this farm that it needed to go. But unfortunately, I did not come over here and did not see how bad it was until I spread fertilizer on it a few weeks later. And I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, this field right here is yielding like 200, maybe 300 pounds an acre. I'm definitely losing money on this field right here. It's pretty sad that I'm already counting down the days until I get back on the combine again. But anyway, we're covering a little bit of ground today. We've done about 36 acres so far today. Had a few mechanical difficulties. The bush hog is shut down. Had a U-joint go out on it this afternoon, but looks like I'm gonna have about 4 days to fix it with the rain that's coming in, so not a big deal. But instead of getting to sleep in tomorrow like I was hoping to with the rain coming in, looks like I'll be getting up and fixing stuff. You can see the storm front coming in right there. I think it's supposed to get here about 10 o'clock tonight. I think is what the Futurecast shows. I don't think it's supposed to bring a whole lot of rain. I think I've seen like a half, maybe 3/4 of an inch, but then we're supposed to have several rounds come through over the next few days, I believe. But wouldn't surprise me since we got out easy earlier this week on Sunday night. Wouldn't surprise me if the Mother Nature makes up for it on this go around.
So the automatic's running. Yeah, you can set the tramper however far and close and wide and you want it. I do probably want to get a little bit tighter, but I want to get a video of that. In the tails, that is Griggs Farms. If it ain't broke, it's not on our farm. So that happened. Huh! Yeah, so that is supposed to go there. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there. So, that does not look good at all. If it ain't broke, it's not on our farm. So I moved over here, got that one done. Matt's on the back field. That really sucks. Zach's gonna take this back into the shop. We also have a diesel leak on this, and I'm gonna go pick him up and bring him back. So, joyous occasion.
Well, our time in the field has come to the end. I know you can't see it, but it's just starting to spit a little bit of rain. Looking at radar, it has arrived. However, we can't just dump the picker and shut the machines down and go home. We gotta get this cotton in the module, packed, module builder pulled off, and the module tarped. And it looks like we'll be doing that in the rain. And Kelly's out on the module builder tonight, getting rained on. I'm sure I will hear about that at some point. Really picking up now. This is going to be fun and cold.
So it is now, let's see, 7:31. They called for rain at 7:45, and it's just now starting to sprinkle. And I really hope Matt is on his last basket because I only have half of this full. I do have the tarp already on it. Everything's tagged, ready to go. I'm just waiting on him to get his butt up here so we can... You cannot move that tramper back and forth when it is raining. It's not possible. So it becomes really, really slick because that slides all the way across it. So I hope he realizes it's raining. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Always an adventure around here.
Well, overall, we had a pretty dang productive day. We got about 49 acres picked today. That's a lot better than we've done the last 2 days. And I mean, it's only 7:30. I was planning on running at least another couple hours. You know, we probably could have scared 60 acres today. But the rain is chasing us out of the field instead. We didn't get very many modules picked though. You know, a day like that you get 50 acres picked. You know, you'd expect 6-7 modules. I think we got 4 modules built, maybe. Alright, we picked 4.5 modules today. The Jen's already come and got 2 modules, so 4.5 is what we done. Yep, prep it since 2007. Hurry, get this back. I don't want milk.
What?
Hey, hurry up, get this packed. I don't want to melt. You know, I'm sugar and spice and everything nice.
Well, boys and girls, you probably cannot tell on the camera, but you can probably tell on the fender. That would be a rain delay. We got rain about 30 minutes ago is when the heavy sprinkles hit, and now it's starting to accumulate regularly on the windshield, which means we done. We've got battery issues with this tractor. We've had to jump it the past 3 days, which we haven't had to do all year. The lights, the front HID lights and one of the top cab lights, they can't decide if they want to work, if they don't want to work. They're gonna flicker, put on a strobe show. So we're gonna work on that. Matt's bringing the picker in so we can keep from getting it wet any more than we have to. We're going to be shut down tomorrow because the rain's here for the next 48 hours. So we've got this to work on. The bush hog tractor tore up today. It sprung a leak on the fuel line on one of the rubber T inserts on one of the fuel injectors, and it had a U-joint bust on one of the gearboxes. So Matt will probably work on this tomorrow while it's raining. I'll work on the bush hog tractor while it's raining. Got stuff to keep us busy. But we're gonna be out of the cotton field for at least 2 days. We'll see how much of this rain comes and how wet it makes the fields. We may be done for the rest of the week. We don't know yet. But we're gonna get everything that we got to get moved back to the shop and go home and try and eat some supper before 10 o'clock for once this week. So we'll get back with you when the rain gets here and we can see what it's gonna look like for the next few days.
Now Zach's taking a bull buggy into the shop, and I'm gonna take the picker in, put it under shed, keep it from getting rained on. Got a few odds and ends to fix tomorrow. We got several days now to try and get these little odds and ends straightened out. Because when this rain gets out, we're gonna be blowing and going just as hard as the weather allows to get this cotton crop finished. So this video's not too long. I'll bring y'all back in the morning, show us working on a few of these things, and the video's already long enough. Probably won't have any of that stuff in it, and we'll just see you back out here in the cotton field again whenever it dries up. So appreciate y'all watching. See you in the next one.